First up, we go to the Mecklenburg County Courthouse in Charlotte, North Carolina for a first appearance hearing. 26-year-old Tyler Harding has been charged with 31 offenses, including burglary, larceny, hit and run, assault with a deadly weapon, and fleeing or eluding arrest. 2 days earlier, Harding burglarized a home in Charlotte and stole a Jeep. Police tracked the Jeep's GPS signal to a McDonald's drive-thru, but Harding sped off, eventually ditching the Jeep, stealing a truck, and then picking up his older sister, Krista. Together, they sped across the South Carolina border, but doubled back when deputies there tried to stop them. After blowing a tire, Harding stole another car, his third of the day. That's the owner of the car arriving too late to stop him. At this point, Harding continues on without his sister, who was soon apprehended on scene by local police. Harding careened recklessly down side streets and highways, driving on sidewalks and medians, even going the wrong way down one-way streets. Until he crashed head-on into a car stopped at a traffic light. After pulling the victim, who was 7 months pregnant, out of her car, Harding took off on foot and stole yet another vehicle. But 24 minutes later, as he tried to speed through an intersection, he collided with a pickup truck, finally ending an ordeal that lasted nearly 3 hours. The driver of the pickup was unharmed, and amazingly, police reported no serious injuries from the entire chase, including the pregnant driver, who was taken to the hospital with injuries to her nose and arm, but otherwise she and her baby were okay. Harding was treated for minor injuries and then booked on 13 felony charges, 8 misdemeanors, and 10 traffic violations. His sister, Krista Harding, was charged with possession of a stolen vehicle. Today in court, the prosecution argues for an increase to Tyler Harding's $115,000 bond, since they say he's a clear danger to the community.
He's driving on the wrong side of the road at excessive speeds, weaving in and out of traffic. He's just demonstrated he doesn't care for anybody's safety in this community. He doesn't have a North Carolina driver's license. We have no knowledge that he is a resident of this state.
Harding recently had moved to the Charlotte area, but had an extensive criminal record in Texas. Judge Donald Curtin takes this into account when considering bond.
His history has a lot regarding theft, as well as fleeing or trying to evade arrest. Obviously, the allegations in this case are no different. If anything, they are aggravated. So as a result, I am going to honor the request from the state in terms of raising the amount of the bond.
After hearing the judge's decision, Harding, who's been raising his hand throughout the hearing, seems like he's heard enough.
Bro, this. Hey, I'm gonna go back. I'll let him finish.
Hold on. One thing you're not gonna do is give me permission to do anything. I already have that, so I don't need your permission.
No,
so you can go. No. You can go ahead and leave. You already upset. Go ahead and leave. Go ahead and leave.
It's important for me to hear this. It's important for me to hear this.
Well, it didn't seem that important just a few seconds ago when you said F this and you wanted to leave.
Because you're listening to what this gentleman has said to you, and it's not my place to tell you what happened yet because I haven't spoken to my attorney yet. But that's what actually is a crime to lie.
Thank you.
Judge Curtin wraps up the hearing by increasing Harding's bond amount to $800,000. Harding has failed to post bond and is being held in Mecklenburg County Jail pending trial. His sister, Krista Harding, posted $25,000 bond and has been released pending trial. Next, we head to Rochester Hills, Michigan for a sentencing. 53-year-old Jeffrey Ziegler has been convicted of assault with intent to do great bodily harm and possession of a firearm during a felony. 7 months earlier, 14-year-old high school student Brennan Walker missed his morning bus and decided to walk to school. But he got lost and didn't have his cell phone, so he knocked on Ziegler's front door looking for directions. Ziegler's wife, Dana, answered the door and asked, "Why are you trying to break into my house?" She then yelled, prompting Ziegler to hurry downstairs with a shotgun. As Brennan ran away, Ziegler fired in the boy's direction, but missed. Ziegler's wife frantically called 911.
You know who he is? No. What door is he at? He was at the front door.
And police quickly arrived on the scene. Ziegler told authorities that he slipped and the gun went off by accident. But after viewing the security footage, the state filed charges. Ziegler, a retired firefighter, was initially charged with assault to commit murder, which, if convicted, carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. He pled not guilty and was released on $50,000 bond. The case went to trial, and after reviewing all the evidence, the jury found Ziegler guilty on the lesser charge of assault to commit bodily harm, as well as the firearm charge. Today at sentencing, his attorney asks Judge Wendy Potts for a sentence within the recommended guidelines of 2 years in prison. But the prosecutor, Kelly Collins, argues for a more severe punishment, emphasizing that this was not Ziegler's first time firing a weapon in public.
This court can't ignore that this is not an isolated incident for Mr. Ziegler. He has fired a weapon in an incident of road rage. I absolutely hold the position that Mr. Ziegler should serve not only the 2 years for the felony firearm charge, but additional incarceration for the assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder.
The next person to speak is Brennan's mother, Lisa Wright, who addresses the court with Brennan's stepdad, Stephen Wright, by her side.
I don't feel like he's remorseful. I don't feel like he's shown remorse. I feel like it's only because of the media. He feels as though he has to say he's sorry. I don't think it's fair.
Before Judge Potts imposes sentence, the defendant delivers his own statement.
I'd like to apologize to the family for my actions on that morning, April 12th. I know it's wrong. After spending 35 days in jail, you do a lot of soul searching. I am full of remorse and regret, and I wish I could change something, but we can't go back in time.
When he was finished, the judge made a brief statement before handing down her sentence.
Shooting at a teenager leaving your premises has consequences. It is the sentence of the court. Count 1, assault with intent to commit great bodily harm, 2 to 10 years, Michigan Department of Corrections. Count 2, felony firearm, 2 years, credit 35 days. Count 1 is consecutive to count 2.
Judge Potts decides to go beyond the guidelines and sentences Ziegler to a minimum of 4 years in prison.
I don't object to the sentence going above the guidelines at this time.
Guidelines are advisory, and based on the circumstance of the case, the court feels appropriate.
Ziegler later appealed the sentence, but a second judge actually increased his assault sentence by 6 months. In total, Ziegler received a sentence of 30 months to 10 years for the assault charge, plus 2 years for the weapons charge. They'll be served consecutively. As for Brennan, he recently graduated from high school and is now attending college in Florida. We go to Flint, Michigan for a hearing on a civil case. Judge Herman Marable Jr. presiding. The plaintiff is 43-year-old Kashante Short. She's filed a $10,000 lawsuit against Richard Jordan for intentional infliction of emotional distress, which she claims occurred when they went out on a date. This is not the plaintiff's first lawsuit. Short previously filed suits against AT&T and the Flint Police Department. Both suits were dismissed.
I read your complaint again. And what is it, intentional infliction of emotional distress?
Yes, it is.
That's not something that's really justiciable in district court.
The judge is explaining that the plaintiff's suit for intentional infliction of emotional distress belongs in a different court.
So you said it's not permissible in district court. It has to be taken to circuit court?
That's an equitable action, yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I gotta go back in because I can't hear you.
While Short finds a quiet location, the judge checks in with Jordan.
Mr. Jordan, let me just ask you this. Are you planning to represent yourself on this?
To be honest with you, sir, I thought this was just going to be thrown out. We had a date, one date, and nothing else after that. And now I'm being sued for $10,000. I think it's a waste of your time.
The problem is this. If you think it should be dismissed, you can file a motion to ask for that.
If that's the process I have to take, then that's what I'll do.
There was also a perjury on there as well.
You heard right. In addition to emotional distress, Short is also alleging that Jordan committed perjury in a written response he submitted to the court.
He sent a letter, and then that letter, he lied. And then that's what brought forth the perjury response.
No. First of all, do you understand what perjury is?
Yes, I understand perjury is a lie. I know what perjury means.
Perjury is a statement, a false statement made under oath.
He was lying.
You don't understand. It's a false statement made under oath. Under oath.
That stated a
when did he testify to something that he lied about? It's a statement made, a false statement made under oath.
Are we done here?
No, you don't understand, ma'am. You don't understand.
Are we done here? Are we done here?
I don't think you understand what perjury is. It's a false statement made under oath.
Are we done here? Are we done here? Please do not insult my intelligence.
I said no.
Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not insult my intelligence as if I do not understand what the word perjury means.
Listen. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you. I will repeat to you what I said.
I'm not either.
I said that intentional. You need to be quiet while I'm talking. You need to be quiet. Can you mute her, please?
Because perjury is a criminal offense.
The plaintiff is muted while the judge figures out what his final ruling will be.
Ma'am, this is what I'm doing. I am ordering that this go to 7th Circuit Court because intentional infliction of emotional distress is a circuit court matter outside the jurisdiction of district court. If you want to appeal my ruling, you got 21 days to do it.
Yep, I do.
You got 21 days to appeal it to the circuit court.
The suit is now with the circuit court, and the results are pending. Jordan has not been charged with perjury.
Thank you both.
Next, we head to Wyandotte, Michigan for a probation violation hearing. A month and a half earlier, 25-year-old Alicia Antonovich was sentenced to probation for controlled substance use and operating a vehicle while intoxicated. She recently tested positive twice for an illegal substance, a direct violation of her probation. She appears today before Judge Elizabeth DeSanto.
As the allegation he tested positive for cocaine and methadone in violation of probation on both June 7th and June 20th, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Antonovich's attorney, Corey Westmoreland, argues against jail time.
My client has been forthcoming
She had a weak moment. Her last drug test that she had, I believe last week, should come back clean. She has gotten herself into a methadone clinic where she is receiving substance abuse treatment as well. She is still employed full-time. She's doing everything in her power to ensure that this does not happen again.
The judge gathers more information as she considers her decision.
Hey, ma'am, are you in substance use counseling right now?
Yeah, I just joined the methadone clinic.
No, ma'am, no. A methadone clinic isn't necessarily substance use counseling.
How is it not? I do counseling sessions, I get drug tests, I see a doctor. It's not like I just go there and drink my methadone and leave. They're a licensed mental health and substance abuse center.
Okay, all right. So how often do you go, ma'am, for your counseling?
Counseling is once a week.
I hear what your attorney is indicating, that you had, a moment, but you had two. You had 2 moments.
The last comment seems to strike an emotional chord for the defendant.
I just want you to know that I understand that it's wrong. It's not that I don't care. It's not that I just say, oh, it.
The defendant's language gets a notable reaction from the judge.
It's not that I just say, oh, it. It's not a moral issue. I'm not a bad person. I have an illness. I have a disease.
Ma'am, I didn't say you were a bad person. Not once.
I understand that it's wrong.
What I am going to do is I'm going to help you. That's what this court does. We help you stay clean.
Mm-hmm.
And my concern is that you were only sentenced 7 weeks ago. And quite frankly, given the fact that you tested positive for cocaine and methadone on June 7th, I think it's quite probable that on June 6th, the same day you were sentenced, you used.
After, like literally right after.
Right, so why, when this court just sentenced you, gave you all of your terms and conditions, then used right away?
I don't have an answer. I'm sorry.
After weighing all the facts, the judge makes her ruling.
All right, well, here's what the court's going to do. I think you restart. So the court's going to adopt the recommendation. The court's going to indicate you're to continue to complete our terms of probation, $50 probation violation fee. We're going to increase your random testing, and you're going to be serving 5 days jail. You have to report tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm doing that, ma'am, so that you're still alive, so you can report. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Antonovich served her 5 days in jail and continues with her recovery. Next, we're in the 67th District Court in Flint, Michigan for a virtual arraignment hearing. 27-year-old Kylan Dorner has been charged with unarmed robbery, a felony. 4 days earlier, Dorner, a student from Illinois studying aviation, was visiting Flint on vacation. During a dispute over payment with the front desk clerk at his hotel, Dorner allegedly pushed the clerk aside and took $600 in cash out of the register. Surveillance cameras captured the incident, and Dorner was arrested. If convicted, he faces up to 15 years in prison. Today, Dorner's before Judge Herman Marable to determine if he can be released on bond. Dorner's represented by a public defender, but he's planning on hiring a private attorney.
You said he's retaining a lawyer, is that right? You know who you're hiring at this point?
As soon as I get out of here, that's my first call I'm making. I have no other plans but to comply.
Judge Marable tells Dorner what bond conditions he'll have to comply with if released.
You'd be on a GPS tether if you got out.
I live in Illinois.
Well, you can't tether to Illinois. Do you have anywhere that you'd be living in Genesee County?
No, I don't. I've been here on vacation. I have no need or ideas of doing anything funny, though. Whenever you need me here, whenever you need me for Zoom, anything, I will be here. But I live in Illinois.
When the judge reviews the probable cause affidavit, Dorner starts to speak out of turn.
He went behind the counter, pushed the victim out of the way, and took $600 from the cash register. And this was caught on a security cam.
Now, don't say
I didn't take the $600.
Mr. Dorner,
I'm sorry.
don't say any, you're just digging a hole.
So
sorry.
We got enough people that cause trouble around here who live here. So why is this guy coming all the way from Illinois to do this? He has no criminal activity back home. He acts up when he comes to Michigan. Come here on vacation, leave here on probation. So I don't know what's going on with this guy. How's he doing in school?
I've been flying planes. I'm trying to become a pilot. I'm in the aviation program.
Well, they're gonna give him a pilot's license with a felony on.
I'm aware, sir. I'm aware. I made a very big mistake here. I'm sorry.
Yep.
The judge is not convinced that this pilot in training won't take flight back to Illinois.
I think he's a flight risk because he's not from around here.
I promise I'm not a flight risk.
safety.
I will come back.
I don't know.
Dorner makes another attempt to persuade the judge to release him.
I have dogs back home. I have no one to take care of them.
There's a local person doing their job who allegedly got assaulted by you and you taking money on a video.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Talking to me about your dogs is just not doing anything for me.
I'm not trying to.
You're concerned about your dogs. What about this poor woman who's at the hotel? The bond is $9,500 cash for surety. I'm done. You can step out of there.
Dorner remained in Genesee County Jail another week until he was able to post bond. He remains free on bond, awaiting trial. Next, we're in El Paso, Texas, where 29-year-old Myra Lopez is before Judge Bonnie Rangel for a probation status update. 3 years earlier, Lopez, a divorced mother of 5 young children, was charged with 1 count of unauthorized use of a vehicle after she refused to return a car she borrowed from her then-boyfriend. She pled guilty, and Judge Rangel deferred her sentence under the condition that if she completed 5 years of probation without reoffending, she could apply to have those records sealed. During the first 2 years, however, Lopez struggled, violating her probation by repeatedly testing positive for marijuana. Eventually, she made progress when a hair follicle test showed she had been drug-free for 6 months.
Miss Lopez, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. As angry as I've been at you many a time, I am very, extremely proud of you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But today, 6 weeks later, Lopez has been summoned to court after again testing positive for marijuana. Judge Rangel is not happy.
You gotta go to jail, Miss Lopez. You know what you're doing is illegal. It's not like this is the first time we've had this conversation.
I understand.
No, you don't understand. You're leaving 5 children blowing out in the wind because you like to smoke pot. Do you think it's okay to do marijuana, Miss Myra, still? After all these years with me?
Can I be completely honest with you, ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I do. It helps me. My children are not left unfed. I've had CPS come in for the same reason. I'm not neglecting them. They're well dressed, they're well fed, my house is clean. I'm on top of everything I'm supposed to be. It's just when I get inside my head, I have nobody to talk to about it. So my next coping skill is marijuana or CBD.
Are you ready to get better and stay in jail for a while until we put you in a facility, Ms. Lopez? It could be 6 to 9 months.
That's fine with me. I'll do whatever I have to do at this point, because I do want a better life for my children. I don't want the cycle to continue.
Do you have a little bit of money to consult a family lawyer?
The only thing I have is honestly like $100 to my name as we speak right now.
Lopez seems resolved that going to jail is her best shot at getting help. Until...
Your Honor, may I interrupt?
Defense attorney Teresa Caballero, who's in the virtual courtroom waiting for another client's hearing, speaks up.
Your Honor, I would like to take this case pro bono if the client would have my representation.
Ms. Lopez, are you open to that? Ms. Caballero is one of the best attorneys in El Paso County, and she has got the most generous heart. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. You're welcome, Ms. Lopez. You know, these women are unskilled, and then they have children, and then life falls apart. And if they go to jail, basically the children are going to be orphaned in a lot of cases. So we're going to have to map out a plan that takes into consideration all of these very deep flaws.
Perfect. Okay, I'll reset this for 2 weeks. I'll let you sing your magic. And Ms. Caballero, once again, thank you so very much for this.
Thank you, guys.
With her new lawyer's help, Lopez avoided jail time. She's working on getting her GED, and she has a part-time job. She's also been drug-free for 4 months. Next, we head to Wyandotte, Michigan for an arraignment. 56-year-old Arthur Haley's been charged with possession of a controlled substance, assault, resisting arrest, and obstructing police, as well as a traffic violation. A day earlier, Haley was pulled over for failing to use a turn signal, but he fled the scene and headed home. When police caught up with him later that night, they found him in possession of a controlled substance. He was arrested and charged. Today, he appears before Judge Elizabeth DeSanto to hear if he'll be granted bond. The defense attorney is John Goldpaul, who enters a plea on his client's behalf.
We'd ask that the plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf.
Yes, to bond counsel.
Your Honor, Mr. Haley is 56 years old. He does have a prior criminal record. He did have a felony drug case back in the 90s. At no time has he ever failed to appear. He's not on probation or parole at this time. We'd ask for a personal bond in this particular matter. Mr. Haley knows the consequences of not appearing, and I'm sure that he will be appearing in court.
When was the last time you were employed, sir?
2002, 2004.
And so how have you been supporting yourself since then for the last 17 to 19 years?
Bingo.
I'm sorry?
Bingo. I'm a
Bingo?
professional bingo player. Yes, ma'am. I play bingo.
Okay, well, that's the first. I have not heard of a professional bingo player. How much does one make being a professional bingo player?
Oh, it varies. If I just chase big jackpots and progressive games all over the state.
So for the last 17 to 19 years, you've been strictly working as a professional bingo player.
Pretty much.
The judge wraps up the bingo conversation and inquires further about Haley's criminal history.
So tell me about your felony assault charge out of Detroit in 2012.
Me? I don't really recall that.
All right, what about 2015 on Detroit felony assault?
Man, who's you? I don't know anything about it.
You were never charged with that?
Your Honor, I recently was acquitted of a charge. I cannot remember the exact year. I was acquitted of all charges. And I have not been in prison in anybody's jail since 1994.
Okay. Well, in 2020, there is a warrant, 4 counts of felony firearm, dangerous weapon, carry concealed. Do you know anything about that?
That is not me. 2020, oh no.
Haley may have foggy memories about his earlier legal problems, but it turns out he's correct about the gun charges from 2020. Records show that Arthur Haley is 22 years younger than this one. In any case, Judge DeSanto decides to move on to Haley's most recent charges.
All right, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to indicate a $5,000 10% bond, not to possess and consume the alcohol or drug unless prescribed. If you're tested today, what would be detected in your system?
Probably just a glass of wine.
A glass of wine? Okay.
From last night, yeah, that's about it.
Okay. All right, so 5,000 10% bond. We'll see you back next week.
Haley posted bond, and his case is pending.